Hello, welcome to another edition of All Five Rounds. This will be our UFC 231 post-fight show. We've been away for a while, but we're happy to be back, and we got a ton to talk about. Mainly last night's main event, co-main event, and just the main card overall. My name's Daren Keefe, and my co-host Daren Loucks, as you see, is right there. And it's hard not to just start off with what Max Holloway did to Brian Ortega. He definitely put on a performance I didn't expect to be that dominant. I didn't expect Brian Ortega to suffer that much. And coming away from it, I had two main thoughts. One is Brian Ortega, I don't think we're ever going to see him finished or knocked out or submitted ever. And wow, Max Holloway is unbelievably talented. And I'm curious to what you think about that.
Man, I was. Let's give credit to Ortega. He is so tough. Like, no quitting that guy. And that was blew my mind. But yeah, Max Holloway, his. We can talk about his skills. I know Joe Rogan was jumping all over him, switching stances so seamlessly and stuff like that. The thing that really stuck out about what Max did, I felt anyways, is how he stays in the pocket and just constantly throws volume. Like, he was throwing, and it's not volume just for the sake of volume. He's pinpoint. I don't think he missed. Like, I watched even just the highlights the next day because I thought it was such an exciting fight. And I'm watching, I'm going like, man, when's he going to miss a punch? Like, he just hit him with everything.
Yeah, and just statistically speaking, he threw 507 total strikes. He landed 300. He landed 307 of them for 61%. 290 of 490 significant strikes for 60%. And by comparison, Brian Ortega, he landed 112 of his 294 total strikes for 38%, and only 110 of 292 significant strikes for 37%. So Max Holloway, significant strikes, he threw 490 to Ortega's 292, and he landed 290 to Ortega's 110. That's insane. That's I've never seen a fight
Diaz level volume.
That's beyond insane. That's yeah, and you're right. It's not just for the sake of volume. It's effective, and he's got that wire. He's just so wiry. It's like he snaps off those punches regardless of what angle he's coming from, regardless if he's taking shots himself. And Ortega will throw one punch and he'll throw 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And it's just it's phenomenal to watch. Now the big question coming out of last night too was greatest featherweight of all time. Whatever. Holloway himself said he thought Aldo was. A lot of people are saying, well, McGregor beat Aldo and Holloway. My problem with that is the Holloway that McGregor beat is not the Holloway of today.
Agreed.
And so in order for McGregor to solidify his position as, so-called greatest featherweight of all time, he would have to beat Holloway again today, in my mind.
I agree. Because I think now the fight is a much more even matchup in terms of like where they are at in their careers. I think
they were both at the beginning of their UFC runs. They were like 2-3 fights into their UFC careers when they did that fight. You can't compare it. It's not even close. They both got better, but Holloway, I don't know if anybody's improved as much over the last 2 years as Max Holloway has.
I think the Max has he's still going to get better, which is scary. I mean, his takedown defense looked great. And his striking, of course, was magnificent. My only concern with Max Holloway, looking at him physically and his style of fighting, is I don't want to see him turn into a Chuck Liddell or Diego Sanchez. I think those guys too are actually were more physically suited to do the style of fighting that he does. Max is going to have to. If I was to critique Max Holloway and say how can Max get better than where he is at right now, one thing I would say is his defense, his body, and his head and body movement. They need to get better, and that's just for longevity of his career. I was watching that going. You're standing in the pocket and you take shots, and like that catches up to everybody. You've got to be finding a way to get your head out of the way. off the center, move your body, block more.
Yeah, you
Like
got to
there's,
minimize. Yeah, you have to minimize somehow
yeah,
the damage you're absorbing when you're taking shots like that. No,
yeah,
I agree. Obviously, I don't have the perspective you have, as someone who's training MMA. But no, it's not hard. You don't need rocket science to figure that out. Like he can't. And makes the other question too. A lot of people say he's going to lightweight next. And Dana White wants him to go to lightweight next. Do you think then that would be something that's absolutely necessary for him to do immediately in order to succeed at 155?
He might not have to do it immediately, depending on who they put him in with. But every time you jump weight, you fight bigger guys, and every
Yeah.
time you fight bigger guys, they hit harder. And we don't have to look farther than Conor McGregor to understand that recipe right there. He got in there as soon as he gets in there with bigger guys. That punching power that he has, it's not the same. And when he gets tagged, he gets tagged. So it's different. There's a reason there's weight classes.
And let's be honest, when you're fighting someone at 155, you're Max Holloway, you're 145 champion. When you're fighting someone at 155 on fight night itself, you're fighting someone who's 165, 170. And exactly. And if he were to go against Khabib right now, Nurmagomedov, a lot of people say that's the matchup to make right now. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think Khabib's even on the same level as a striker as Max Holloway is. But man, we saw what he did to Conor McGregor, and he will wrap him up like a python. And hey, and you got to say Holloway's takedown defense against a very talented ground fighter was great last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
oh yeah,
he neutralized Ortega's ground game.
But Ortega's not a great takedown guy.
It's great when he gets you down.
Yes, and a lot of the times when he gets takedowns, he hurts them standing, or some it happens in some sort of exchange, and those just didn't happen because the exchanges that were happening were he was on the wrong end of them.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely man. He took so many shots. It's just I don't know if there's a way to walk away out of that octagon as someone who lost the fight but didn't lose the fight. Ortega did it in a lot of ways. It's almost it's almost but not quite like the Derek Lewis loss to Cormier, where Derek Lewis didn't lose shit by losing to Cormier, really, because nobody expected him to win. You know what I mean? But a lot of people expected Ortega to win, including myself, and I was dead wrong about that. So now, what's next for Ortega? I wouldn't mind seeing him. I don't think Conor McGregor's going to cut down 145 again. I really don't. So I don't know what's next for Ortega. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know who he fights next at all. I mean,
and he's already fought Moicano. Like he already beat Renato Moicano. So like, who would be next? Would it be the winner of the Mendez Volkanovski fight? Because I don't think Chad Mendez deserves to be in the title discussion at all yet. Not at all. No. Unless even if he beats Volkanovski, I don't think he deserves to be there.
No.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
You're right.
Moving on to the co-main event. What did you think about Valentina Shevchenko's performance?
Okay. I was excited for this fight more than any other fight on the card.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I thought, you know what bugs me is like, you never know when you get two people who are that high level at like one skill in MMA, you don't know which way that fight's still going to go. Like it could be super entertaining or it could be super like technical and only like a real fan can really appreciate it. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I feel like that's what kind of we got with that fight. Her performance, though, I'll say, like, man, she asserted her game. She stood in front of her, utilized her judo throws beautifully. I was waiting for Joanna to just like start getting aggressive and teeing off, but then it seems like she paid the price every time she did. What'd you think? Like,
yeah, I absolutely agree, and I just think Valentina Shevchenko proved that she's on another level than Jelena Jacek is, and that's not to take anything away from Jelena Jacek. She's a great 115-pound fighter. She tied Ronda Rousey for the most title fights in MMA history for females last night. Great for her. I mean, she should not be underestimated. But Valentina Shevchenko, it just so happened, is just at another level at a different time, and she's just unbeatable right now, I think. And I also, just for the record, think she beat Amanda Nunes in that last fight. And although there's
Okay.
been 2 fights between the two of them, and Shevchenko's lost both, technically, I think it deserves to be a third fight, and that's what Shevchenko wants to do. Just because so many people think that last fight was called wrong. A lot of people think Shevchenko
Mm.
beat Nunez that last fight. It's not a DC Jones type situation, where there's no need for a third fight between Cormier and John Jones. But for me, I really think there is a need for a third match between Nunez and Shevchenko. And if Cyborg beats Nunez, I could see it happening.
Yeah, if she beats her for sure, then you can really make an argument for it. But
Yeah.
if she doesn't,
Oh yeah,
makes it a
it'll
little
never
more.
happen.
Yeah.
Never happen. Never happen. Do you think
Yeah.
your next fight is going to be against someone in the division? Shevchenko's next fight is going to be someone at 125?
I mean, it should be. I mean, like you said, other than Nunez, I mean, I don't see any other reason to go
Yeah.
anywhere else but in the division. I'm not sure who that's going to be though, but
I think she's going to take some time off too. I think it'll be a while before we see her again.
who?
Shevchenko. I think she's going to take some time off. I don't think we're going to see her again until the summertime. But
Okay.
never. That's just my opinion. I haven't heard anything. I just got a feeling. Same with I know Ortega's going to do a movie now for 3 months that
Right. I heard
he's
that.
in, and I know Max Holloway's talking about taking some time off too, and rightfully so. These people have been busting their ass. The holidays are coming up, whatever. So now I'm gonna
Sure.
just. There was another fight here that did you see? I'm sure you did because you saw the whole fight. I'm just gonna pull up the card here. Okay, Gunnar Nelson. Were you impressed with his
Oh,
performance? Because he needed that win bad.
absolutely. I mean, the finish aside, which was got to be
Oh
the
gosh,
bloodiest finish I've ever seen
it's like a
in an MMA
sprinkler.
fight. It was a sprinkler. Yeah. While he was getting choked, I think I put a thing out on my Twitter. For anybody who's not following me on Twitter, that's at Daren Loucks. But man, it was 29 stitches. I think they had to, and the hole wasn't that big in his head, but it was just super deep. Like that
Yeah,
thing was spitting out
that was a
everywhere.
razor elbow that just cut him like that. So direct. He couldn't like technically it was perfect.
Oh yeah, I mean he did exactly what gyms all around the world train, where you grab wrist control, drop the wrist, and elbow comes over. I mean, it was pinpoint. I mean, he had great jujitsu positioning to do it. I think he looked really good. I was impressed with Gunner's performance for
Yeah, and
sure.
he needed that win, and he came out this week saying, he had a knee injury, which is why he wasn't involved in Conor McGregor's camp for Khabib Nurmagomedov, and that upset him. That he wanted to be a part of that, and so it was good to see Kavanaugh in his corner. But I know he was training in Iceland and stuff like that before this fight as well. So a lot of people were wondering where he stood with SBG, whether it was right or not. But it was good to see Kavanaugh in his corner, and good win for him. I mean, God, he needed that win very badly. He's popular, and he's no Artem Lobov. I mean, he's not in the UFC because Conor
No,
McGregor.
no, he's legit. He's legit talent. I have a friend of mine who actually got to train with him out in Ireland. So I know he's definitely training at that camp. Shout out to Joey Morency. But yeah, so he's legit, man. He's a tough dude for anybody.
The Hakeem Dawodu fight irritated me just because I think that guy spends so much time trying to look mean. He ever
Which one?
Hakeem Dawodu, he's fighting out of Calgary. He won Kyle
Yeah,
Bachniak,
he was.
and he spends so much time trying to look mean. Like that guy exerts so much energy with mean face all the time. Oh god. But
Yeah,
did you see the fight?
but he's
Did
a
you
hell of
see?
a fighter.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a monster, and he's got a lot of athletic ability. He's not just a fighter; he's an athlete, like a super athlete. He could really make some noise. Now, moving forward, do you think he's going to get a top 15, top 10, top 15 guy?
I don't see why not. He's like you said, he's as athletic as they come, and he's super long. His striking is just awesome. Yeah, he deserves it.
And I don't know like of any camps like any I mean big no and that's no disrespect to the Calgary area or wherever he's training out west. I just don't personally know that landscape very well. So I don't know who he's training with exactly all the time. But he's
Yeah,
obviously doing a lot of things right. Now, moving on to I was surprised. that Jimmy Manuwa got knocked out like that. To open. God, was that nasty.
That was a crazy fight, man. Like, that was two dudes just ginormous swinging sledgehammers back and forth. When I was watching it though, I was I said over to the person I was with, and I was like, this fight's so crazy, and you can just tell he's trying to take out somebody who is ranked number 7 and try to take that spot. So I mean, it was Santos was just throwing everything
Nothing to
he had
lose.
into everything, like, and getting face to face with him and tossing everything from the man. I knew that fight was going to end one way. Like, that was, I didn't know who was going to get knocked out, but that was eventual. That was an awesome fight to watch. That was fun. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it surprised me. I thought Mano was going to win, but you're right. Santos had nothing to lose.
Nothing.
You know, he went in there just swinging, and he was rewarded
Everything
for
to
it.
gain.
Yeah, exactly. Now Mano was in some serious trouble in terms of what he's going to do next. Because Manoa
Yep.
losing to a guy like who's ranked that much lower, no disrespect to Santos, as we all know, is going to mess up your next. You know, and Manoa hasn't been exactly setting the world on fire. You know, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with him. Other than that, God, I just want to say I was so annoyed by the Elias Theodoro fight, just because I'm so sick of watching point fighters, and it just I can't stand that. You know, good for him that he won. Yay for Canada. That's great and everything. But that fight annoyed the hell out of me. And so I just like to point that out. I can't stand that. Was there any other fight on the prelim card, or any other fights that you saw off of the main card that caught your attention?
Nothing that sticks out to me right now, but
That's
I
no
mean,
problem.
it was a good night of fights. So I mean, they,
I'll tell you,
they were decent fights.
Claudia Gadelia, Nina Ansaroff, big upset win for Ansaroff. Huge win for Ansaroff. The biggest win of Ansaroff's career. Interesting to see where she goes
Yeah,
from there. Gadelia is a definite top 5 contender. Massive win for
yeah,
Nina Ansaroff. Hats off to her. I love Claudia Gadelia. I followed her career way before she got the UFC when she was on Nova and Yao years ago. So I've always kind of liked her just because I've watched her grow. But man, it's hard to deny that rise that Ansaroff is on right now. And hey, she's got to have one hell of an advantage training with Amanda Nunez every day. So,
yeah.
it's obviously paying off. All right. Well, with that, we will wrap this up. Hopefully, we'll get another episode out this week. It's only Sunday, right? So we got a whole week ahead of us.
Whole week, man. Let's get some more out there.
Definitely. We appreciate everybody for watching. After the fact, obviously, this isn't live right now, so we'll put it out and promote it. Follow Daren Loucks at, what is it now? At DLoucks21 or just at DLoucks on Twitter?
At Daren Loucks.
Oh,
Use
I'm
my
sorry.
whole
Oh, you
name, brother.
changed it. Yeah, that's right. I saw you change
No.
your profile picture too. Okay, and I'm at Above the Full Tie. You can catch either one of us on Twitter or Facebook, and of course on YouTube. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.